Oh my god. Thank you for waiting. How late are we? Oh good, only half an hour late. I can't believe I've got 8 likes for this. Anyway, I'm going to take the next minute of intro to try and get myself into some state of being ready to stream. And hi. Let's talk through everything and hopefully get on with this stream. But hey, we're here, we're live. Let's see, will the camera work? Will the camera work? I'm here, way. Okay, the camera works. That's an improvement on where we were 10 minutes ago. So, Full Beats has to go. Perfect timing. Apologies for that. Oh man. Hello everyone. Hello. Shows over folks trying to go home. Wow, I'm glad to see the fun has begun. All right, so not that we particularly need a free camera shoot. Let's just check and see if the other cameras are working. Oh, that camera is working. Wonderful. And okay, this camera is working, but it is also lying on its back because I didn't have a chance to set it up, which means we have a grand total of 3 cameras, 1 lying on its black back. Everything seems to be working. Oh my. Oh yeah, so basically I don't know, something went wrong with the we had an internet problem, and then everything went seriously wrong, and the browser that I need to use for streaming suddenly decided that it wasn't going to work at all, so I had to reinstall everything and restart everything, and I don't know what it was, some sort of corrupt blah blah blah, 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 blah. Who cares, it doesn't matter, it's working now. Greetings everyone, greetings from Montreal, greetings Fernando. If you've just joined, your timing is much better than all these other wonderful people who've been waiting. Don't worry about choosing the beer, I'm just going to go straight in with the beer. Going for a bit of that Kirin. See, that's dedication. I didn't even open the beer. I was focusing so much on getting this working that I didn't even get myself a nice cheeky beer to start with. So I shall pour the beer now, and then we can really get this show on the road. So, I hope everyone is okay. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to bring this up first of all, I want to let that settle. One of the starting points really from this is just to sort of really follow up from what we were discussing last week a bit. Well, one of the things we were discussing last week. I'm trying to get as many videos out to you guys as possible. There was one that was pretty much ready to go today, but unfortunately, as some of you, if you follow on Discord, will know, I was caught in a little bit of a, shall we say, a domestic emergency. Nothing serious. It's just I had to lend a hand to a lovely young lady who requires my assistance. So I was helping her out, and that took 5 hours out of today, and I nearly finished a video in time, but I just couldn't. And it's kind of like that for so many of the things. But as I was saying last time, I want to break up. I've got so many unusual non-review videos to do. I mean, so many of them right now. I read the list last time, and obviously virtually nothing came out last week. Partly down to that. But I want to break that up by doing some more reviews. And I was going to say, because of the fact that we need to pepper some reviews in, I want to do sort of a brief one-off thing this week where I get you guys to think of maybe a couple of suggestions for reviews I can do this week, ones that I can probably get something interesting out of, but are likely to get some views. So whereas obviously I usually go more into the suggestions thread for when I've got like a little bit more time to explore some interesting things, I'm looking for some stuff that hopefully is going to get some good views if I just pepper it in, which is going to be interesting. I was thinking about stuff like the Peggies, Polka Dot Stingray, bands who reviews tend to get a good number of views for, just so that we can get some viewership going back through the channel in this coming week. So we're going to have a temporary one-off thing where this week I want you guys to see if you can think of some good suggestions for reviews that I can do during the coming week, which will be sort of videos that I can turn around much quicker, give some interesting opinions on, get a little bit of viewership channel flow going through there, and that in itself gives me a little bit more time and room to finish this other backlog of videos that I've got off. I've also got a couple of videos that are waiting for translation, you know, sort of interview stuff I did in Tokyo where I need to get the translations confirmed. So there's a lot of stuff which is sort of milling its way through the works. So yeah, I was just thinking that's one of the things I wanted to bring up today. Just for this week, I just need to find like sort of 2 or 3 bands where, or songs where I can just sort of turn around a quick review, get something in there which will hopefully be good for that. Let's have a look at some of the comments that are coming in. Can't believe that GMIV killed Prince Philip as well. That's supposed to be quiet. You're not supposed to tell people about that. And I didn't know you knew. So my secret's out. So yeah. So I was late because I was burying some bodies. So CMC ICANN. Yeah, everyone just knows me too well. Harry, I guess Reno was satisfied with his monologue practice and let him free. Ewan says, no beer until you finish. Yes, GMIV is good at breaking up things. Didn't you break enough bands? RIP Girlfriend. Oh, Girlfriend's broken up. Oh, actually, that's what that comment was about earlier. Okay. I think everyone had been kind of insinuating that there was a feeling that was going to happen for a while. Again, it's weird because Girlfriend was one of that sort of handful of bands that we covered in that very first month when the channel started. In fact, I think Girlfriend was one of those ones where when the channel started, we covered a few bands which were just sort of like either things that I found on, because I was looking for bands I'd never really listened to before. So I picked up on Bandmade. That was just one that I kind of knew in the back of my head, oh, I want to listen to them. So I did that off my own impetus. I was like, all right, let's check out some Bandmade. Same thing with Baby Metal. And then there was a few other bands who were just sort of creeping around in my YouTube suggestions who I found. And then I remember sort of opening up to them and I was like, okay, what bands do you guys recommend? And I think it was someone who recommended that I listen to Girlfriend, or maybe I think it was. And then yeah, we checked them out. That was one of those bands that we checked out in the very first month of the channel, back in January 2019, if I remember correctly. So yeah, we've been with them for a while, and so it's we haven't reviewed them that often. Partly because obviously the copyright stuff started kicking, but I was looking forward to coming back to them a little bit more recently. Unfortunately, it's difficult. I think the general feeling of that being that there was a likelihood of that coming, but like with all these things, it could be the same as the girls rock band Kakame thing, which of course that's turned out to be, not to be sort of rude to anyone left out, but it's turned out to be a positive thing in one way because it's resulted in Trident. So you never know what's going to come up from the ashes. I'm sure that they're not all going to suddenly quit. So let's see what comes up from the results of Girlfriend. Hopefully the resulting band will be one that's easier to Google. So, Japanese Girlfriend. Oh, bad Google search. Girlfriend videos. Oh, bad Google search. Yeah. Perhaps finding an Asian Kung Fu generation should spend. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking of it. It's just kind of a little bit difficult. Like I say, I'm too familiar with Asian Kung Fu Generation, but obviously since the format, I'm still getting still getting comfortable with the new format, although I'm really enjoying it. So maybe I think probably with Asian Kung Fu Generation might be better to do a retrospective, something a little bit bigger as I'm already familiar with them. Not the sort of thing I would turn around too quickly, I imagine, but maybe some format, but I'm not sure if that's one I could turn around quickly. I'll have a look and see if they've got any recent songs that I maybe missed that I can have a quick peruse on. The hit list is forming, says the good. I don't know if you mean hit list as in song hits or as in people who are going to get knocked off. The GMV finally sets out. Long time coming. Thank you, Malta. I don't know if you're referring to the murder streak or not. Top 10 ways to break up bands by GMIV. being around all his life. Why you break up, girlfriend? I didn't. Yeah, look, I didn't consciously do it. That was just one of those ones where just happened. I was just walking by and just. Ooh, my bad. Fernando, you just made the top of the GMIV hit list. Oh, sells out. I thought you said sets out. Fine. Sets out long. Sells out. I'm not even 100% sure where that comes from now. Joke's on you. I'm already dead inside. Can't kill that which is. I don't know what's going on here. First bandmate mentioned drink. Eternal lie. Underestimating the dread powers. Wow, this is going into a whole different area of conversation that I don't know if I'm entirely ready for, considering what's been going on in the last few minutes. I'm just going to look and see exactly how the channel lore unfolds over the coming few posts, and have me a little drinky. Oh, I needed that. Harry, a scandal is hard to find on Google searches also. Yeah, that's true actually. Curse's contribution to both band. Here is how to name your band in such a way to be hard to find. Very true, very true. First, lack of compression. Yeah. Okay, so the comments are nice and impossible to understand today. I'm enjoying very much the complete lack of clarity that I'm getting from what you guys are posting. So keep them coming in. By all means, this can be a cryptic session today. Yeah, I did have more things planned for this one as well, but like I said, all the technical difficulties that suddenly befell, I wasn't able to really get any of the things I wanted to sort out for today on this stream. But that's okay. I mean, as always, most of it is still just kind of there waiting to happen. There is, just like I say, there's this really trying to find a way of getting on top of all this material that needs to come out. So much has been filmed, so much has been written, so much has been recorded. I was actually kind of thinking if I can't get a sort of a good idea for things to that will make sort of quick turnaround reviews just for this week, then I might just sort of say, well, look, this is going to be a wacky week where all of the videos are completely out of kilter with what we normally do, just grin and bear it kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's still basically related to music in Japan. Just like to keep a semblance of consistency in the tone of the channel. However, there's not much consistency of tone if nothing's coming out at all. So yeah, let's. It's been like a good sort of 3 weeks since we've had any sort of good turnover. So I really just need to find something that we can pop out. So like I said, that's why I'm being a little bit frivolous this time and just saying, hey, quick turnaround reviews just for this week is not a bad thing. CMC, thank you for dropping in the Reddit. Harry, thank you for dropping in the Discord. Is that the new link that I dropped on Discord? Because I posted a new link on Discord, which is like a sort of a never dying Discord link. So I hope it's that one, because that will make everyone's life easier, Harry's particularly. CMC, comprehension, not compression. So what was that? First, lack of comprehension. Wow, see, I didn't even comprehend that you said comprehension. Oh, God, yeah, sorry, my brain is not ticking over with this. It is 2 a.m., by the way, I should point out. Martin, speaking of something that's impossible to Google with the group, dots was always a fun time to find online. Then they were succeeded by Ray because they clearly didn't want to make it any easier. Well, you also got, was it drops as well, isn't it? That's one. Maybe a Yonige review. Bear, I see what you did there. Hey! Oh, yeah. Bear references have begun already. Alright, so I'm going to just sort of like YouTube look stuff up. Obviously, I won't play any sound for fear of being sued. So it takes me straight to Twitter. That's not where I want to be. I'll be on a YouTube. Alright, so Yoniga, let's have a look and see what kind of views Yoniga have got. We just need something where if I review it, it's going to be good for our figures for a little while. Yoniga, let's have a look at you. 52,000 subscribers and millions of views. That might be a worthwhile one. Let's have a look. Does it look like something that's going to be interesting and that I'm going to enjoy? Yeah, I can't tell anything from the thumbnails, but it looks pretty good. Let's have some Yoniga then, probably there with Warner. and Warner are less likely to sue me than other people. Not that really matters anymore because we don't do reactions anymore. Yay! How many? Okay, their music videos don't have a huge amount of. Oh, this one does, from 2 years ago. This one has 1.2 million views. Oh, some of their older ones have lots of views. Cool. Let's jump in with some Yodiga this week. Screenshot. All right, that might be a good one to do. Yorishika. Yeah, it's Google time. By which I mean YouTube time. Yorishika. Wow, they got a lot of subs. Oh man, I got a lot of views. All right. Basically, you guys probably know how this works now when I'm looking at new stuff to review, which is with the review format, I basically go through, I listen to it, and I work out, do I have something worthwhile to say about this? So it's better to have too many rather than not enough. This is just, like I say, this is just to get a little bit of fodder to, well, I don't want to say fodder, but, get stuff that basically I can make some interesting comments about, make a nice, simple review in the sort of keeping of the ones that we've done in the last few weeks. Turn it around and do something that actually is worthwhile. So if I can just get like a few bands listed that I can just sort of, maybe not tonight because I've got to go to sleep after this, but maybe in the morning I can just sit down, just listen to a few of them and go, okay, I've got something to say about that one, 3 reviews, bam, get them lined up for this week, set them all up, and then that gives me a nice framework of time so I can get these other videos pushed out, get them all sorted out. So like if I can record 3 reviews tomorrow, and like I said, that just sort of opens up the whole week for me to start pushing out all these other videos in between. Like I said, I did a really fun one for today, and I kind of want to tell you what it is, but I don't want to spoiler it. I guess I'm going to put it out tomorrow. I wanted to put it out today because Sunday's always good to do it. I heard that apparently Monday is a bank holiday for a lot of people. Obviously, Golden Week here right now. Sorry, not thumbs down, thumbs up, fingers down. By the way, has anyone else got a bank holiday at the moment for Monday? Let's have a look at some of the comments coming in. It's one I created, but also is one that never expires. Oh, cool. You got a never expiring one too. Nice. Thank you. Mirai, there was some discussion lately of the first take videos. You have opinions about that, so that could be used for a quick video. Yeah, I did think about talking about the first take videos. The only thing is that I don't know. I mean, I guess that would be, like I say, I'm looking for some reviews to break up the opinion pieces, because a lot of the stuff I've also got to put out is kind of opinion piece related stuff. So if I did one about the first take videos, it would be something of an opinion piece. I also feel a little bit bad in that it kind of looks like if I do it about them, that maybe it looks like I'm targeting them and sort of slagging them off. I think I might be more inclined to do something about just the nature of these, how impressive is it really for a band to do their song on the first take? It shouldn't be impressive at all. It's kind of like a plumber comes to your house. You don't go, oh, congratulations, you fixed it first time. You're more questioning like, well, wait a second, if you didn't fix it first time, what the hell are you doing? It's one of those ones where I don't know if I've got enough to really make it interesting, and also I don't know how much of that will bleed into the other video that I'm doing, which is about Bandmade again, sorry, but the live and live one, sort of like I was saying, live in person, live online, and live on DVD. So maybe that is an interesting point, though. I mean, if I've got something to say, I will. But like I say, I really now want to make sure that every video I do, there's a point to it. I want to get something across. So when I'm doing reviews, I want to hear a song where it inspires me to say, okay, I've got something to say about this. That's easy, actually. That's easy for bands who we've already covered, because it's like part of the narrative. I talk about Scandal, Silent Siren, Bandmade, even Baby Metal. It's like, well, yeah, we've got a story with this band. We've got a story going with it. We know what our experiences have been with it before. So when I do a review of them, it's easy. I'm building upon something that's already there. But obviously, I also want to be talking about new artists as well. By new artists, I mean new artists for the channel, amongst anything else. The King Gnu thing actually came up. I do want to approach King Gnu at some time, but I did finally start listening to them, and I think that's going to be a little bit more of a difficult nut to crack than I thought. So I ended up with quite a few things to say about that. Is there a new Silent Siren versus Potent Party videos to CMC? I believe that's just a return to the to the song that they did before. I think it's just a live second version, but someone tell me if that's not true. Scott says, next all-female band from Calais to be named Swinger. That's going to be an interesting Google search for certain. Elise are the Thai band, aren't they? Because like I said, I was thinking about doing a Rolling Quartz Elise double thing for like some coming weekend and do like a world tour weekend rather than world tour Wednesdays. Do like a world tour weekend where I can cover both of them perhaps. Please drop a like to the help the non-monetized channel run by a man who has been around music his entire adult life. I think if I say my entire life, that's kind of not true because when I grew up there wasn't really much music in the house. So been around the music industry my entire adult life. I always think that's an important word for in there. And loves waffles. Don't drop a dislike, just a like. I wonder if there are first takes outtake videos. I imagine probably not. That would be embarrassing if you were the one band who didn't do it on first take. But then again, I guess that means that if they did then post the video, it wouldn't be a first take, so they couldn't post it. So by definition, I guess you couldn't have outtakes. Interesting. CMC. So the audio on the Warning live video is pretty bad. I'm now so glad I paid for the live DVD. Ooh, really? The Warning live video. Review Scandal Pony, Doll or Hitahira no Hanabira. We covered Hitahira no Hanabira before, obviously the Stereo Pony one. The only thing is like I say, I hate to say this, but with Scandal videos, most of the time we don't turn over much of a viewership for them. So covering even something like that, which is a really awesome thing, Scandal and Stereo Pony doing the Scandal Pony thing, there is always a risk that I could put a lot of effort into that and then get no views, which is fine in the future, but just for this week I really need to inject a few more views into the channel. Try and keep that a bit pumped up, as it's been a little bit lackluster with all of the sort of failure to get videos out recently. Let's just call it what it is, failure to get videos out. Miro, video idea, list of top bands you would have liked to have seen where they gone if they hadn't broken up. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe my mind's just a bit blank. It's just most of the bands who I can think of who broke up were ones where they either got back together or went on to do something in a separate guise. I'd really have to think about that. That would be really interesting to do, though. If I could think of some really good examples, because that's the sort of one where you could really sort of go into the interesting views of what was going on when they broke up and where it could have led to. Yeah, that's kind of intriguing. There's some groups who I think actually improved through breaking up. Like, the sort of did they break up, didn't they break up? Lady Baby. Every time Lady Baby broke up, they got better. Like, first of all, they got rid of the Australian guy. They got better. Then, I hate to say it, sounds so cruel. Then they got rid of the girl who went off to do Bratz. They got better. And then they just broke up. So, I guess they would have been an interesting one to... I would have liked to have seen where they went next. For bands, it's difficult because, the members tend to go on to do other things anyway. I was intrigued, by the way. I was looking at James's friend Tom, who runs JPU, has been raving about the fact that he signed Nemophilia, and apparently Nemophilia have got like the highest number of pre-orders he's ever had for an artist. And I was kind of like Sam when I was looking at it. I was like, so I no disrespect to Nemophilia at all. I mean, like I say, I think there's a lot of potential there, but I don't think they've done anything that demonstrates they've got any writing chops yet. They've definitely shown that they've got something going on, but I kind of find it intriguing. People are really, really sold on them very early, which I think has taken a lot of the pressure off of them to really achieve. So I'm kind of interested to see where the Nemophilia thing goes. I hope that they don't get complacent at the point they're at the current moment, because where they are at the current moment, it feels to me like they're way underdeveloped. The talent's there, musicianship wise, but it just seems like as a group at the current moment they're way underdeveloped. They got a lot of potential, but they need to really there's some areas that they really need to improve in, and I think it's mostly writing. So I'm kind of intrigued that that's been a really popular move. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with the Nemophila thing in future. But like I say, at the moment I hear potential, but I don't hear any songs that really get anything out of that. But yeah, apparently people are really, really sold on them. So I'm intrigued to see where that goes. Interesting one. So it seems to be Lie and the Chameleon. Is that a Japanese band? Maybe I chose the wrong album to listen to, but I heard the most recent King New album and wasn't impressed at all. Not sure what the hype about them was for. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I say, at the moment I'm not sort of 100% sold on King New either. Although a friend of mine who I really respect musically is really into them, so I'm kind of tempted to give a little bit more credence to it. And she's very sort of musically talented, and she knows her stuff. So I'm kind of intrigued that she's really into them. So maybe there's something I haven't listened to much yet. But I got to admit, I'm still trying to work out what the hype's about. But could get something interesting out of that, just probably not this week. 1OK Rock review then. Baby Beard coming soon. Baby Beard. that's a name that could happen. 1OK Rock, yeah, again, that's actually not a bad idea. I was thinking about doing their most recent song, but as you guys know, I listened to that and I was kind of, I don't know, it really rubbed me up the wrong way. So again, if I reviewed that, it would take me into a similar, well, not the same, but it would take me into a similar territory to the Regal Lily one, where I'd be spending a lot of time sort of breaking down the reason why this song rubs me up the wrong way. And it does. I got to admit, when I listen to that latest 1OK Rock song, I just cringe so deeply inside. Like it's not a bad song. Like musically, it's all right. It's very unambitious, but it is catchy. It has got a good energy to it. It does basically work. But I just think it's because I'm now. By the way, if there's any 1OK Rock fans in here, I know you're going to be offended. I don't think there will be, but I just got to be honest. Just whatever Taka's doing now, he's turned from being kind of this kind of edgy, cool guy to just now he's just so cringy. And I think, like I say, I think it's this. It was the main thing that got me. I mean, I'm not against political songs. I'm actually all for anyone who wants to put a message in it. But there was just this so generic. We support anything that is fighting against the power. Yeah, hold up your placard with any message, and I will support you because I'm so cool. It was like, oh, this is so painfully cringy. It's like, I get it. You want people to like you, and to me, it was just. It felt desperate, and seeing someone, I know he performs with a lot of passion, which I like, but seeing him throw all of that passion into these lyrics that were just like god, it's like I can't imagine anyone writing these words with passion. It's just someone going what sounds like we love and support everyone. Let's write that. What are they protesting about? It doesn't matter, just what's on the sign. Okay, let's copy that. It was it. That song makes me cringe so badly. I'm sorry. So I just lost about 15 subs. So I just got to. By the way, yeah, congratulations on 600 subs. Big thank you to everyone. We've had some suggestions. That's another thing. If you've got any suggestions, because last time we hit 1,000 subs. Last time we hit 1,000 subs, we had some rather fun things we did to celebrate. So if you've got any cool ideas, we had some nice ideas already, fun things we can do to celebrate, that would be great. However, just as I've hit some 600 subs, I'm saying everything on this live stream I can to try and lose as many subs as I can. Please don't go. Anyway, there's comments coming in. I need to keep up with them. Babybeard's starting another band with 2 young girls again. Why is everyone calling them Babybeard? It's getting really weird now when you say it like that. I don't know why that should be less creepy than Ladybeard, but still. Lady Baby. Yeah, it's just weird. Is Babybeard what the dude called himself? I didn't think it was. I thought he called himself Ladybeard. I'm so confused. I forgot who said it on Discord, but someone asked if girlfriend will reform as ex-girlfriend. That would be awesome. They have the musicianship in spades, but the songwriting is sorely lacking, says Moto, in reference to Nemophila. Yeah, exactly. 100% agree. 100% agree. So I guarantee they could play some really awesome stuff, but they're currently not. CMC, good. Seriously, so we've managed to slag off Taka from 1OK Rock and Nemophila. So how many subs have I got now? Let's just check my subs are still here. A good example of band getting worse than like Silent Siren firing the original keyboard. And okay, that's it. You know, how do I block CMC from being visible on my computer? You guys can deal with him. I'm not taking these hurtful comments in. Review Bad Baby Bomb, only one song, proper teen, pink teen pop. Okay, when you said they've only got one song, are we talking about a band who's had like sort of a big debut or something? Because I can't imagine. Okay, Bad Baby. Oh, I'm nowhere near conscious enough to be dealing with this. Bad Baby Bomb. They've only got 1,000 subscribers. Oh, yeah, and they got like a few hundred views. I am interested. I'm going to screenshot that just for a bit of weird interest, but I don't think that's one for this week. I don't think we'll get any views for that. Like I said, I just need some quick flash turnaround views just for this week. BTS and Blackpink reviews. The Blackpink reviews, I'll just be upsetting people if I do that. And BTS, yeah, if I review either of those groups, I'm just going to be upsetting people if I do that. Give the people what they want. Yeah, I think what they want is me to say nice things. It's not going to work, especially Blackpink. I think everyone knows that I've got kind of a waged issue with, well, I don't want to call it an issue, but I don't like what Blackpink do, just down to the very core of it. And BTS, I find their fans think they're so interesting, and they're not bad. They're just kind of really dull. So yeah, basically this stream is me slagging off everyone's favorite artists. This is probably not the live stream that I should have set out to do today. CMC, Nemo Generica, a lot of fuss about bugger all squared. With a name like Generica, it sounds like they're basically signposting we don't really try. Oh, you're talking about Nemophila. Okay, right. Okay. The brain is not switched on today. Oh, I think the GMIV would sooner review BPTs than either of those. Oh, bless BBTS. They broke up, didn't they? And now I feel bad because I couldn't stand them, but I had nothing against them at all. Nothing against them at all. They seemed like they were enjoying what they were doing, even as grating and painful as it was. Rev says there are only 3 Japanese female bands that are the most popular female Japanese band in the country. The third one is Shishamo, but unless you have a lot of viewers in India and Vietnam, it won't help much. I mean, I might get some viewers in India and Vietnam, but I wonder if that's maybe. Let's have a little look. You know what? It's one. If they look interesting and they got like a few million views, then I'll consider them just for, like I said, this is just turnaround week. Shishamo. Intriguing. The very first picture that comes up looks a lot like Regal Lily. So, hold on a moment. Okay, let's take a little shot of that anyway. We can come back and check that out. CMC, no, Baby Beard is absolutely happening. Beardy cross-dressing wrestler with 2 small Japanese girls. Video coming this year. What? Is it the same guy? If it's the same guy, then okay, he's got to stop. It's getting weird now. And if it's another guy, it's like, get an original idea. Yeah, I really hope that's not happening in that, guys. I hope it's something more interesting than what it sounds like. Because it's like, if it's the same, like I say, if it's the same guy doing again, then it's like, okay, you are, because he was doing like the deadlift Lolita thing. That was like an interesting way of taking it in a new direction. But to call it Baby Beard, which is clearly just using the same name again, basically, but avoiding copyright, and then doing the same formula with 2 new girls, it's a bit weird. And if it's someone new doing it, then they are basically ripping off the name and act of another artist, which is just lazy. I guess I'll read down the comments to see if anyone can tell me. Mary, are there Japanese band songs you'd recommend to people who'd never heard a Japanese band before, like a Japanese Music 101 or something? That would make that would make an interesting video. I don't know if you're asking me that as a question right now, but that would make a kind of interesting video. Again, that's a think piece more than a review, but it's kind of on topic. I could do something like that. Bands that you would recommend to a first-time listener? I guess genre is kind of important. But yeah, I could do. Yeah, that's interesting actually. The um, guide to presenting music to your new friends. Guide to presenting Japanese music to your new friends. Give them just enough Japaneseness to reel them in without scaring the crap out of them. Interesting. I like that. I like that to the point that I'm going to take a little photo of that. It's how I remember things now. Seriously, I've been awake too long today, and my brain is not keeping up with this. Why will the picture not take? Come on, you stupid bloody phone. Oh, take it twice. Stupid. Just because Xi Jinping's watching me. Okay. Any chance of GMIV meets the human chair at some point? I would love to meet them. I guess if I could get an interview with Ninganis, that would be amazing. But I don't know if that's likely to happen. Maybe after the Jam channel is finally kicked in, which we're getting there slowly. Anyone who's following the Patreon will know that I left some comments on that recently. Then that would be really cool if we get to that point. My first story review, Taka's younger brother's band. That's interesting. My first story. Gotta admit, I don't like the band name at all. But it sounds cheesy as all hell. But let's have a little look. It's another one of those ones that's not gonna YouTube. It's not gonna Google well. My first story. Okay. All right. I'll have a little peek at them. Interesting. And this is why I disregard lyric content, because 99% of the time they are about dumb shit like that. That is going to come up. The video that I was going to post today, which is in fact going to come up tomorrow, does actually have a section in it about how important lyrics actually are or are not. So that's part of the talk in this, so it's going to be cool. CMC, 600 subs. So dance time, then Afterlife dance. Yeah, the Afterlife dance is... was that at 600 subs? I don't think anyone said at 600 subs, did they? Maybe it was at 500. Martin, every time I move rooms to listen to this, my family tracks me down and talks over the top. Have to watch later. Enjoy the waffle. Catch you later on Discord. Sorry. All right, well, take care, Martin. See you next time. Thank you, Annie, for tuning in. Ciao to you. But yeah, go enjoy family life. And then we'll see you when they're all asleep. How do I remove the people's message? The GMIV. Other people's messages. I'll catch up with that. Bad Baby Bomb have a guitarist and amputated hand. That makes them sound all the better. Okay, so I'm way behind in the comments. I'm trying to catch up. Mirai, other bands for quick videos. What about past legend bands from previous generations like Princess, Shoya, maybe their impact on industry? Yeah, this is something in the future that would be kind of fun to come around to as an interesting piece. Those sorts of videos, though, unfortunately, they don't get many views because views seem to mostly be based on what's kind of happening now. The drop off in, if a video just came out in the last week, you'll get a few views, and then like 2 weeks later, you'll get virtually nothing. If it's a song that came out a few years ago or by a band who aren't around anymore, then you get virtually 0 views. So that would be kind of fun to do for our own pleasure, but I think that's more of a future project where once we've got through some of the other special videos that we're working on at the moment. But certainly one to sort of bookmark for later, definitely. Certainly I'd like to do a little bit of thing talking about Princess, certainly, because that's a really sort of fun one to go back and look at. Fernando says, Mamamoo. Mamamoo is certainly one that was in consideration for the World Tour Wednesdays, but we stopped doing World Tour Wednesdays because we weren't getting enough recommendations, and that was one of the ones I was expecting people to put in the recommendations, but it never came up in the recommendations. So if we go back to do a World Tour, we said we'd do a World Tour weekend at some point, then I was looking at Rolling Courts and Addies, so maybe Mamamoo would fit in perfectly with that. I think might be a good time to drop them in. Hello Moto says, Unicorn, Southern All Stars, Bees. These are older groups again. I don't think they got any current content, have they? Let me know if they do, but I think most of their content is kind of not doesn't really bring in huge numbers of views. I think I mentioned in the previous live stream I got a friend of mine who's fairly well off and actually is a massive Southern All Stars fan. He's got like a whole listening room which basically just is for listening to Southern All Stars, I think. Again, is that like being the drummer in Def Leppard? Technically a malformed hand. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm talking about the hand. That's where the hand went. Harry, review Herman Lee of Dragon Force auditioning to join Bandmate. I think enough people already reviewed that. I kind of saw that, but everyone was on that when it came out. Rev, I know nothing about Shishamo. I just saw it on Reddit and thought, who the hell are they? Fair enough. We're all in the same boat then, didn't we? It's the same guy who did that other group with the female bodybuilder as well. Oh, this is referencing what we said before. Oh, okay, so yeah. If it's the guy who was from Lady Baby and Deadlift Lolita, then it's just like, okay, dude, give it a rest now. Yeah, it's starting to get annoying. So you just sort of recreating the same band, like, no. I just kind of feel like it was okay before because it was a cool little game. It was one of those things where you just kind of like, you saw it like, oh, I wonder how this came together. It's like, you know, the whole Lady Baby thing originally was like, wow, I wonder how this started. And there was kind of a charm in those, like this sort of the oddball nature of it. But now just doing the same thing again with virtually the same name, it feels forced as hell. Sorry. No, I find that annoying. You know, fair enough for him. He's trying to make a career, but at least with Deadlift Lolita, it looked like he was trying to do something. He was trying to take his career in a direction that both recognised what he had come to some prominence for, whilst also taking it in an interesting direction. But just going back and repeating your previous success because you haven't got any better ideas is lazy. So let's have a look here. Same guy, same format, same songwriter as the original Lady Beard. Lady Beard restarted new band. 2 young girls, yeah, so everyone's just copying that point. Yeah, all right, thanks guys for letting me know. True story, not amputated. Okay, there's a few things. I'm trying to catch up as quickly as I can here. Shishamo seem okay enough. Could be worth a review. Shishamo, the food is tasty. Is that the name of one of their songs? That would be awesome if it is. Yes, we did say at 600 subs. Oh, really? I don't know if you're just saying that now because it's come up, but okay, I might have to do the dance. Oh, crikey, I'm not doing it tonight. But Sven, hello. Hi, Sven. Princess get a lot of YouTube views. Still, or maybe. I know because there was that whole thing about City Pop was getting a lot of views in the last few years. It went, you know, that sort of accidental viral status it got. I don't know if Princess would have a similar thing to that, but that'd be kind of cool to like go back and check them out. Peggy's had a new video last week. Oh, then I'll probably do that because I like doing Peggy's. I feel I've been wanting to do a Peggy's song for a while actually. So if Peggy's had a new song last week, I'll definitely do that. In fact, actually, apologies. I think CMC's already posted that a couple of times actually. So let's just bring that up. How are we not subscribed to the Peggies? Oh my god, why can't you give your video a simple name? Seriously. The Peggies, Ashiato Footprints, music video, My Hero Academia, 5th. Why have they spelt season wrong? Yeah, they spelt season wrong. Wait for it. 5th Seoson ending theme. So not only is this title way too convoluted, but it's also misspelt. And the grammar is so weird. Like the footprints is between 2 hyphens, and then music video has a / after it, and then square brackets. And who wrote this? I'll check it out. Looks like a good song. Should be a cool video. So assumes this is band made 85k views a day. Princess 70k. That's actually really impressive. So okay. I mean, like I say, everyone knows Princess, so it'd definitely be an interesting one to cover if people are actually interested in that. So cool, a bit of Princess goes a long way. Alright, what currently topping charts? Adore, Yasoba, Alexandros are doing well actually. Mile's doing really good as well. Eve, Hoshino again, always. Man with a Mission, are they doing alright now? I know they were struggling for a while. Well, struggling as in weren't quite hitting levels we were expecting. Messiah's, Messiah's doing really well. We talked about them a couple of weeks ago. 1OK Rock, etc. An artist that topped last year. Higadandism. That's always a weird one. Lisa seems to get a lot of views, which I always find a little bit strange. Because there's nothing against Lisa, but I always kind of figured that Lisa was kind of one of those ones where it's like interesting, but a little bit on the generic side, but obviously really popular. Lisa has some great songs, but also a lot of songs which are just like, eh. So maybe I should dive in on some of that at some point. Some artists were named, not sure where I should drop my knowledge. Drop that knowledge. Drop it right here in the chat. I think we've already got quite a lot of ideas now. I think we're pretty sure about where we're going with this, but if anyone wants to drop in anything else, I think I've kind of got enough to sort of get my teeth into just for, like I say, just for this week where we need to get some quick turnaround. Just having a look at those princess figures. Not that many subscribers. Oh, but that's a topic thing, isn't it? Do they actually have a channel? No, not really. That's intriguing, isn't it? There's a topic, they don't have that many subs. But yeah, their videos, a few million here, a few million there. I'll come back to that. Alright, so I think we've kind of got enough to work with here. Have you done any Durham Gray reviews? They had a new single recently. That's an interesting one. Yeah, actually, another one was Durham Gray, but also like I remember we talked a while ago about a lot of people said, oh, that I would really enjoy. Was it Otherworld? And I remember sort of listening to it and going, no, actually, this is something I could definitely get some interesting thought out of. But then we found out that they were like super copyright friendly, but that's not a problem anymore. So maybe like stuff like Durham Gray and Otherworld, maybe it's time to finally jump on that. Shummer has more YouTube views but worse physical sales than Scandal. I would expect that Scandal probably have better physical sales than most of their peers just because they're longer standing. Longer standing bands tend to be able to turn over better physical sales and better merch sales just through loyalty. So yeah, if they've got better YouTube videos, that's just kind of probably the sign of a band who I'd imagine are newer. But that will hopefully with time for them translate into something a little bit more balanced. I don't know them much anymore, but they seem to be pretty popular, says Malto. Referring to Darren Gray. Yeah, I don't know much about them. They're not sort of band I would normally go towards, but certainly worth having a little look into. Like I say, I'm going to go through the suggestions you give me. I'm just going to sort of peruse through whatever the latest stuff is by all of these artists, and obviously Princess in general, just do a little bit of a recap. And I just sort of think what I can really make. Like I say, I don't want to just churn out crap. I want to like think which ones can I make some really interesting videos so I can just do 3 reviews, put them out this week, and that gives me, like I say, a framework to put out all the other weird videos that we've got waiting to happen in between, pepper it up. So I will be going for, I can't guarantee which ones I'll do, but this gives me a nice framework of, okay, I can know all of these ones are like worth looking at, all of these ones will produce a decent number of views. Let's just go through it and then we can have a good week, get ourselves back on track a bit. What about Lisa review? Which Lisa or Lisa? That's actually a good point. How are you going to spell it? Sakura Gakuin reviews pull on some Babe Metal fans. Yeah, I wanted to go back to Sakura Gakuin about the time that we were breaking up, but we had this whole different thing that ended up going on. But might be worth going back and checking them out. Like I said, I had some fun with Sakura Gakuin before. I just found him. I mean, it might be better just with Sakura Gakuin, maybe just to do I'm just photographing some interesting stuff from chat. Might be worth just going back and checking them out and doing like a retrospective a bit on them more than anything, rather than reviewing any of the songs, which seems almost a little bit null now. Just sort of doing a retrospective on Sakura Gakuin as an entity. Anime Lisa, okay. Sorry, never heard of Princess before. Yeah, they're a real old one, but sort of a very sort of pivotal key group in the history of Japanese pop music, I'd say. Thanks, by the way, for dropping the Reddit link there, CMC, and for all the Discord and other links that were up ahead as well. Greatly appreciated. How I'd check out King Gnu. Yeah, we were talking about that a bit earlier. It's like King Gnu, I have it on good credit from one of my friends that they're really good. I was listening to them and I kind of agree with Helamoto. At the moment, I'm not really sure what the hype is about. I found it hard to... I was expecting King Gnu was going to be one of those groups who was going to be like really inspiring. I was going to listen to it. It was going to give me lots to write about. But after the first few things I've heard, I'm like, I'm not really sure what my angle is on this. It's like, it's all right. So I'm looking to try and get some sort of inspiration out of King Gnu. So I might have to dig a bit deeper. But at the moment, nothing with King Gnu is bad or particularly standing out. So like I say, for this week, I'm looking for stuff where I can get some quick, interesting thoughts out of myself. So maybe for later King Gnu, to be fair. Like I said, I was really expecting to jump into that and find like plenty to talk about straight away, and I kind of haven't yet. CMC, Princess the Scandal, to show you as bandmade. Oh, Princess are the Scandal to show you as bandmade. Yeah, that's a pretty fair analogy in a way. I mean, I'm not very well versed on showyas. Only sort of shoya. I'm only sort of really versed on the fact we listen to them a little bit on the channel, and just sort of a little bit of catching up with them. But I'm not that well versed on shoya, so I guess that is probably true. It seems true, but I wouldn't really have enough historic knowledge of their comparative stories to really make a good comparison there. But maybe. Anyway, it certainly reads as something that sounds true. Mirai, which Lisa was just pulling names of the current charts. Yeah, that's non-shred guitarist Lisa. Mirai, Princess, the Scandal shows bandmade. Oh, you commented that. Someone said they are the successors of these bands. I don't think. I think that the gap between the bands is way too much to actually. Well, gap between the bands top level times of relevance is probably too much to make that a direct succession, but there's probably a degree of that. They're probably filling a space that the other had a large point in. Scott says, how come so many bands do lower I, Lisa, Bish, Empire, etc.? I think it's because it's when you do the capital I, it kind of looks a bit weirdly like a 1 or an L. I think the small I just kind of gives it a bit of character. At first, I got to admit, I always sort of thought of it as being like a whack thing. But then someone sort of pointed out to me about, I think it was when I was doing the live review of Lisa, it came up and I was talking about it with James. And we just suddenly went, hey, that's true, that's there again. Pretty. Is Pretty a band name that I'm not aware of? Let me know. There is Lisa from M-Flow as well. There's going to be more than one Lisa out there, guys. Thanks for the Discord and Patreon links, Harry. Much appreciated. They are really useful to have out and about now. It would be the other way around. While these bands came first. Yeah, okay, yeah. Using the word successor, I kind of just assumed the order that was supposed to be in. Show you the original hard rock lady band. Yeah, I guess in a way they were probably one of the originals in really sort of doing that. There's a weird sort of lineage of how that whole thing worked there. And certainly there's also, you always get the lineage of which bands were doing it and which bands were popularizing it. That's always an interesting thing as well. Like, for example, I think Scandal went a long way towards popularizing this kind of thing. Although it could be argued that other bands had been doing what they were doing before, I think bands like Scandal were managed to really sort of get it through to the popular audience in a way that maybe it hadn't been as much previously. Princess was the original cutesy girl band, but there was a musical element to it. It wasn't just sort of the disposable tat that you kind of think of when you put together the words cutesy girl band. There was something of a quality to it. But I'm looking forward actually to it. If Princess have got like a good number of views, I'm looking forward to going back and checking them out anyway, just out of a little bit of a personal intrigue. Cause it's not one of those ones that I wouldn't often listen to, but it's certainly one of those ones that you kind of always aware of. It's always in the back of your head. Sven, I always take Asian Kung Fu Generation albums. If you want a song, you can always listen to their newer stuff, like a song from last year. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been saving up it on Asian Kung Fu Generation. I was surprised, actually. The last time we reviewed them, we got very few views for that. We didn't get many views for that at all. So that's one of those ones where I'm sort of thinking, okay, Asian Kung Fu Generation now, I'm more going to do it for my own fun, because it doesn't seem to generate that many views. So that's one that I'll more do for my own entertainment. But yeah, as I've mentioned, when we started doing this channel, there was a few bands like Asian Kung Fu Generation who I was familiar with, who I kind of stopped listening to build up a little bit of a new catalogue of stuff so I could come back to them later. So I certainly would want to come back to them now. Would be a good idea. Both really big in their day. Pretty. Princess nickname. Well, there we go. You learn something every day, and that does make perfect sense. Thank you very much for that. Scandal seems to be the successor. with many other groups, depending on who you ask, Puffy, Zone, etc. Yeah, I don't think that it's interesting because Scandal, I think, fitted into a different sort of a place to where Puffy were, but I think that what Puffy had done was by proxy opened up an area that worked for Scandal. So basically, in other words, Puffy popularized a sound that Scandal were able to take advantage of. Although Scandal, I think, were playing to a different audience. I think just Puffy got that kind of sound, that kind of female rock and roll sound, sort of pop, but with genuine rock chops. Puffy had got that really into the sort of the sort of general audience's proximity. Got it into a place where people were hearing that as a general. So yeah, I think Scandal fans were probably pretty aiming at a different group from Puffy fans. Although to be honest, Puffy had kind of like appealed to virtually everyone. They were that generally popular. But yes, certainly there was a sound that Scandal benefited from them. Be interesting, actually. The Zone reference is kind of an interesting one. I need to know more about Zone. It's one of those groups who I don't know as much about as I often thought I did. I think I know like that one song. Mirai, Generation Spiritual Successors. A blog was commenting on show that all four bands were at and was saying that they are a new generation of their general subgenres. Princess equals pop rock, show equals hard rock. Yeah, it's never that simple though. I think people like things to be that simple. They like to generate this thing where it's like, oh, this is the new version of this. This is filling in for where that was before. I don't think it's ever really that simple. I think that and this is why bands can coexist in the same space. You can have two bands who basically do the same genre but do it in a very different way. So I don't really think it works like that. Although I know people like to create that sort of idea that everything works on a rail and one follows the other. I just think it's way too complicated to make it like that. But they are they're just kind of like they are the newer artists in the same genre. But I don't think the idea that I don't think there's any sort of passing of a torch, so to speak. I think it's just generally that's just the way things go. Kind of hard one to word that, but I think you perhaps get my point. Like Scandal popularizing indie pop rock and Oldius more popularizing rock metal, both seem to be credited with inspiring other bands or popularizing it anyway. So I have to read very fast because all the comments coming in. I think that. Yeah, I think the Scandal especially, but Audius as well, both had an effect on popularizing a sound. Or I wonder, would we say it's popularizing, or were they just more able to, if you like, set, sorry, I'm struggling to find my words today. More establish a sound. More trying to establish, okay, well, this is a thing now. This is not a fringe thing. This is a thing. This is a common thing that will chart, which is kind of the same as popularizing. But again, I hope my point's coming across. I'm really fuzzy today. Sorry, I woke up at 5 a.m. It's now 3 a.m. So 22 hours on the chart. Not the worst thing ever, but I do need to get some sleep after this. If we count Zone as a band, it's probably the most successful Japanese girl band of all time. Interesting. Do Zone still get views? That's another one that it's just going to be a Google nightmare. Although YouTube knows enough about my search tastes that it's probably not going to have any trouble finding Zone. Straight away. Okay, that's just cool. Yeah, they seem to be getting a good number of views. Let's have a look here. So CMC Puffy, the rapper who destroyed every move you make. Well, Puffy, the rapper who stopped Puffy, who copyright blocked Puffy from using their own name in America. So when Puffy came to America, they had to rebrand as Puffy Amiyumi because they weren't allowed to call themselves Puffy because of Puff Daddy, who wasn't even called Puffy. That was just his nickname, and then he renamed himself P. Diddy. So as a result, it's like he basically blocked them with a name that wasn't his before changing his name to something else. So yeah, ridiculous. Anyway, Fernando, hey, I got to run. Have a great week, folks. Until next time, stay safe. Yeah, you too, Fernando. I hope you're up to some good tricks. I know you've been a little bit limited on what you could do, so I hope you're going to go have some fun. All right, take care. See you next time, man. I'm going to go in a minute as well. We're just hitting 1 hour now, and apologies, but this has been a lot of talk on this one, but it's been really interesting to go through your comments and discuss things. And essentially, this live chat's mainly been you guys helping me catch up with what we're going to do over next week. But yeah, like I said, I need to work out a framework to get this week together. And this looks good. You guys are giving me some great suggestions, and I hope you're going to look forward to me doing some of these. But it's been a great chat, certainly. Need to mention Okuda Tamiya from Unicorn for creating the puffy sound for sure. Yeah, I think. See, okay, I could go into a whole thing about this. The puffy sound is it's a difficult one. Because the puffy sound is like, what do you consider to be the puffy sound? And we could go for like their sort of original breakthrough and still probably most well-known single. But is that actually the puffy sound? No. Actually, that song is most notably when they were using the sound that was generally popular by other artists at the time. So they were hitching onto someone else's sound, onto the producer's sound mostly. And so they established themselves with a big single. But after that, it was everything after that. From their second album onwards, they moved into this territory where they started being able to do more. Because that first single was just like a generic duo pop song, but it was popular and it was fun. But they moved into doing that kind of rock stuff. And when they started doing that rock stuff, they had some really popular singles, but they never had any singles as popular as that first one because it was not mainstream anymore. They kind of had taken their fame and deliberately swerved out of the mainstream. But what they then achieved was something where it was like, it was amazing. I mean, they were known for the fact that they would characterize their songs by slightly mimicking Western songs. I can't remember what it was, but one of their singles is like a dead ringer for Pinball Wizard by The Who. And, you know, they would go for these like little playful things where they would take ideas from like Western sounds that maybe hadn't really sort of, due to the sort of comparatively young nature of Japanese rock music, hadn't really been heard at their time. And they were sort of learning a lot from Western music, and they were going through writers and producers who would take that and present that sort of sound. And so I think what got them their biggest single, maybe what some people consider to be their sound, I think what I consider to be sound is what they did for the majority of their career, which was opening up the doors for like the female rock to also be pop, making female rock into something which was mainstream. And, they mainly achieved that by having the rather bizarre success in America. When they had some rather bizarre success in America and Europe, then it kind of suddenly opened up this thing. It's like, okay, actually, if you do this, it crosses boundaries. And so they suddenly opened up this possibility. It's like, okay, we can have just sort of like female pop rock that crosses boundaries and genuinely is successful. And then they got made, I think it was the Japanese government made them did a year as the cultural ambassadors for the country. They were actually cultural ambassadors for Japan. So, it was interesting. I think their success, their most successful single is ironically the most out of keeping with their sound. Sorry, I just got a comment coming. Just put not on here, on something else. So yes, stay safe. Thank you, everyone. I think Zone switched from Idols to a three-piece band. I need to do a bit of reading up on Zone. I really don't know much about them at all. But that sounds like fun. Didn't they try to reunite, but it fell through because one of the members had a drug problem? Oh, that's really sad. I hope that's not true. But if they did, then I hope they're getting better. Scandal capitalized on the pop rock sound. Yeah, Scandal certainly managed to. It was that idea that doing pop rock could be a generally viable thing. And we're talking about in a big way. We're talking about sort of dropping big singles that chart heavily. You did have things like Princess before, but I think even though Puffy weren't effectively a band, they had their set band. Like Baby Metal have their set band. It was the fact that Puffy had made that just kind of like, okay, this is actually still, as fun as it is, this is actually serious rock music we're doing here. And I think so that opened up doors for Scandal especially. I do think that Scandal walked into a space that had kind of been opened for them a couple of years prior. And, you know, that was perfect because they took advantage of it by being a proper band. Zone has one song that will live forever at least. So true. Scott, got to run, catch the rest later. Thank you, Scott. Well, I'm about to wrap this one up anyway, but good to have you here anyway. But without sales or money, what's that in reference to? Not sure, out of context. Bands to mourn the passing of advance warning, every band suggested and considered. Interesting. Back, what did I miss? Well, I'm about to wrap this one up, but I'm certainly welcome to rewatch this all. Marta says Unicorns Daimewaka. Good for a view if you want a zany song that remains catchy and relatively accessible without getting too atonal with a weird as be unlistenable. Let's pop that in here. Unicorn. Individual song suggestions are always fun. Oh, lost it. There we go. Please have a lot of views. Oh wow, it seems 9.3 million views from 8 years ago. That certainly seems worth checking out. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap this one up now. Sorry, I am quite tired. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. I really appreciate you guys waiting so long and all the wonderful suggestions you've given. It's going to lead to some possibility of me getting some stuff done next week that I so badly want to get done. Lots of waffle, no chicken, thank you. Zone Secret Base, the one everyone sings in karaoke, and Scandal covered. Yeah, true. Everyone's covered Secret Base. Everyone. Bandmate have covered it. Silent Siren have covered it. Scandal have covered it. Haruna had said they didn't consider genre. They just played music they liked. Yeah, but that's kind of the point. That's when you know a band's influential, when they make it, because like I say, I mean, Scandal were growing up around that time that Puffy were the big thing, and so what they would have been hearing, you know, the music that if they were listening to sort of popular radio, but they liked kind of rock and roll music, Puffy would have been what they were hearing, and it kind of comes across in the fact that their sound, even if not intentionally, you can just hear like there's so many steps that are straight out of the Puffy playbook. Certainly in their earlier material, they started to film more of a sound later on from what I've been picking up. But certainly, yeah, where they started, they really did have a sound that was very, very Puffy. So yeah, playing what you like. You don't have to be inspired by a band to be affected by a band. Certainly. Sven, Puffy got their last award for a record over 20 years ago, but in their first years, they got a lot of certifications. Yeah. Puffy's success, it needs to be pointed out, their success with singles has always been very low. They have been more just one of those bands who's just generally sort of been, you know, always they were on the big tours, they were doing the big tour dates, they were always there, they were kind of in the popular knowledge, and they were popularizing a sound. That's the thing, is that they were always there doing that pop rock thing, and everyone kind of was there, they knew it. They just kind of made it like a household thing, I think it's fair to say. But yeah, they didn't really have any big singles after. They had some singles that did well. I mean, ironically, All Because of You did actually quite well as well. And that was like, I think that was a couple of years before Scandal debuted. But yeah, I mean, they were never sort of like a big single generating band. After they took that decision to go into more of a pop rock direction, which, like I say, as a general, increased their popularity, but didn't sort of translate to like sort of big number ones or anything, certainly. But certainly they were always kind of there. They were always around. They were always on the radio. They were always sort of in the popular ear. But yeah, no, yeah, fair point. Certainly, and I think the last single they released was like 10 years ago as well, anyway. Good, I'm sure it'll end any minute now. So there's the Red Limbs, thank you. Scandal and everyone else to get their sister covered. Why you broke up, girlfriend? I love that in the sort of abbreviated capitals. It looks really, really sort of petulant. I love it. That's like their one hit. Trying to remember the name of the other girl group that did well around the time of Scandal. Be interested to know which one that is actually. I didn't sense the same anger from before. Maybe moving up to the next stage of grief. I thought Puffy were more successful over a long time. Their 25th anniversary album, 2021, was an Oricon Place 112. Yeah, the interesting thing about Puffy is that they were so much of their time that I think when they kind of I think it was around about 2005 that they really started to slow down and they just started to sort of put the brakes on, and they kind of stopped producing material around then, and they just had like the occasional single, and it was more just the performing live. So I think after 2005 they kind of put the brakes on their whole career, in the bigger sense. And I think the knock-on effect of that is that they, as is the case when you stop producing material, you kind of just disappear from the public eye, and they became seen very much as the thing of their time. And I sort of said this before. One of the sad things about Puffy is that they were kind of, because of the way that they were there, so big for a while, and then kind of drifted off because they went from doing big singles to just sort of being a big sort of name, like a thing that was always there, and then they just kind of went away. As a result, they're kind of very much associated with a certain time in music, and therefore, like any band that does that, they're kind of seen as being. It makes you seem dated if you just suddenly disappear. You're kind of seen as dated. You're seen as, people think, oh, Puffy, that's, you think like late 90s, early 2000s, that generation. So it kind of, as a result, because there was a sort of subsequent revolution of female led pop and rock bands that happened very much in the wake of that, they kind of disappeared before really the spoils of everything that I think they'd helped lead in. So I do think that, and I've heard this said by other people, I think that a lot of people kind of think that they were so popular at the time, but they don't retrospectively get the credit they deserved for what they achieved. Or at least the doors they opened at very least. But yeah, they did achieve a lot too. CMC Less Anger, yeah, I'm sure you've done this before. I've just forgotten, but I would mind you listening to some of your favourite stuff, i.e. Puffy Oats Cry. I'm kind of curious to check out some of that stuff. Yeah, I want to do a little bit more of that. Because I did a album review of an Oats Cry album before, and I really wanted to dive in and do a Puffy album as well, actually. And I really wanted to do that, so I might do that sometime soon as well. Yeah, I really want to share some of the stuff that is personally good to me. I know that that's not a big view thing, but I think it's kind of interesting because, I've got a lot to say about those things. So at least it makes for a fun little story time, if nothing else. But yeah, that would be nice. And maybe it also encourages more people to tell their personal stories about artists that they love for whatever reason. Stereo Pony, yes, I wish Stereo Pony got more views, but I love Stereo Pony, great group. I did check out the Offspring and Cardiacs the other week. That's such a really, really totally different thing. Yeah, but I always kind of say the Offspring's that group who I 100% put my hands up and say I know that there's not much going on musically there. I just kind of like it. It just appears, there's something about the sound. I like the fact that it's kind of good energy. They use harmonies really well in the mixing, even though the harmony is almost always the lead singer harmonizing with himself. I like the fact that they're willing to do stuff that other groups in the sort of punk genre would say, oh, we can't do that, it's not punk. I just like, there's a sort of sense of fun to them, which is really cool. Offspring's early albums I thought were pretty decent. Yeah, I agree. For me, the best Offspring album is actually, I would say, Conspiracy of One, which was kind of just after most people would probably say they jumped the shark. But I just thought that album had a really nice mixture of kind of really radio friendly sort of stuff and some really weird stuff as well. And there was a lot of rhythm fun in there as well. I just thought that was a really cool album. I enjoyed that. But yeah, they got some great stuff going on, definitely. But Cardiacs, Cardiacs, I could listen to them all day. You would mind him listening to his favourites? That's not very nice. Oh, you would mind him? Yes, I did. I didn't catch that wording. I skim read. Cardiacs didn't really do it for me though. Yeah, I meant Doma. Yes. or a character limit. Cardiacs is one of those ones where I don't think it's for everyone. It's a very weird one, but just kind of it really works for me. I find it nice to sort of take you away from the kind of normal stuff. I'd say anyone trying to get into them for the first time, best one is to listen to is their last album, actually, Guns. That's probably the easiest one to get into. New Bridea review. I was hoping to cover that new song. Unfortunately, because I've got such an impetus, I'm trying to do a lot of views this week. I might not be able to get round to it until a little bit later, just because of the fact that, like I said, I desperately need some views for this channel just to keep us on top of things. But I will look into that. Also, still recommend Duet Manish. That was mentioned before, wasn't it? All right, guys. I know you're all commenting. I really appreciate it, but I do need to get some sleep. I'm so sorry. I don't like doing this because you guys have waited for this stream as well. Just there we go. Yeah, it's just like I say. I'm kind of not. My brain's not ticking over properly. Back for the big finish. That's fortunate. Top 5 bands you like who aren't popular video. That's kind of like most of the bands I like, isn't it? Thanks for a red link. Stereophony is the tale that could have been Scandal's vocalist hurt vocal cord and hand breaks up. Yeah, there's a lot of stories. I guess we could do a little. Maybe that'd be a fun thing for future. Go back and do some story time, Japanese band story time, where I can tell you about some of the stories that happen in Japanese bands' histories and maybe give my own view on what I think probably was going on in the background, but that's a cool one to jump into. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Sorry, thank you so much for everyone for waiting. Like I say, I know this was this wasn't anywhere near as weird as the live stream last time, but and you guys were very helpful this time. I'm really hoping, like I say, Monday's always a difficult one, so I don't expect to have much time to work on videos tomorrow, but I do have a video that I recorded. I just need some time to edit down, so that one I almost certainly will be able to put out tomorrow, and that's kind of a fun video. But then apart from that, I will really jump into doing some reviews that, like I said, will just hopefully give me a framework. Also, I'm going to try and put out the SJ Nix podcast I did with him over the next weekend, which will give you a really cool insight, some really awesome merchandise that he has and the stories of how he had to smuggle it into the country. That was a really fun little live stream. Actually, I was expecting that to just be a short one, but we had a really good chat about that. It went on for just over an hour, I think. So there's some really cool stuff coming up. Anyway, just wanted to say a big thank you to you all again. Much appreciate being here. Let's just check the last few comments. The most decent recent Bridea album was All Kinds of Bad. Sorry to say. Oh, sad to hear. So please, if you feel sorry for the Gym Ivy, drop a like. And see what coming up for destroying popular music. Drop a dislike. Top 5 hipster darlings. Oh, sorry, I got a hairball, or is that a man bun? How I can drink some IPA to go over his hipster listening and get my check shirt on. Where's my check shirt? So yeah, back to the usual place. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for the likes as well. 14 likes. I wasn't talking about it much today, but we always say, and it's always true. Not monetized. Likes, especially on the live stream, is like a currency. Really helps us with viewer retention, and good likes on a video is always great. So thank you so much. Just want to say a big thank you again. I will catch you during the week, and I've got some nice plans for a good live stream next week. So if all goes well, then maybe we can have a bit of a good giggle in the next one. And just want to say thank you again. Have a lovely morning, evening, afternoon, night, lunchtime, whatever it is. Just take care of yourselves. And until I see you hopefully very soon in Japan for the next one of these, for now, ciao, ciao. Bog roll. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. It turns round corners, but somehow never creases. Bog roll. It knows where the other bog rolls are, never ceases. Bog roll. Avoiding the cardboard. You will never be bored. Bog roll. Freestyle. See you later, guys. Oh, pop over to Discord. I'll join you.